can't take it anymore. My mind's about to go to war. I need someone to save me from myself, to hear me cry when I call out for help. I blame it on the voices that are in my head, wondering if they'll ever be put to bed. Feels like I am close to reaching my wit's end, holding out, but I'm about to blow it up like a volcano. Another day to lose control. There's a fire in my bones. My sight gets blurry.
All right, super late today. Super late today. I do these like at 7 o'clock usually. I'm doing it at 11:35, but I'm gonna do like a quick one, maybe like a half an hour, maybe an hour, and then just get out of here. All right, speaking, let's look at the news. What's the first one? Tennessee inmates hard to see a device must be turned off before execution to avoid shock risk, judge rules. We don't see. Tennessee officials must deactivate a death row inmate's implanted heart-regulating device to avert the risk that it might try to shock him during his lethal injection, a judge ruled Friday. Oh, because if his heart stops, responding, the device is going to shock to revive it. What is it called? I can never think of these things. It's not a heart monitor. Another thing they put in. The order by Nashville Chancellor Russell Perkins comes ahead of the August 5 execution of Byron Black. Black's attorneys have said that the implantable cardioverter defibrillator, it's a defibrillator, so it'll definitely shock him, could shock him in an attempt to restore his heart's normal rhythm after the single dose of pentobarbital, with the potential for multiple rounds of shocks and extreme pain and suffering. The order requires the state to deactivate the device moments before administering the lethal injection. But won't deactivating it kill him? Maybe it's not instant. Maybe it takes like time, like days or weeks to do it, including having medical or certified technician professionals plus equipment on hand. The lower court judge said the order will not serve to delay the execution, something he said he does not have the authority to do. He also said it doesn't add an undue administrative or logistical burden for the state. Black's attorneys say the only surefire way to shut off the device is for a doctor to place a programming device over the implant site, sending it a deactivation command. It is unclear how quickly the state could find a medical professional willing to do the deactivation. Additionally, the state is almost certainly certain to file a quick appeal. Okay. So the state doesn't want to turn it off. This latest ruling comes after extensive back and forth between Tennessee officials and Black's legal team, who have argued in a number of court filings that their client's cognitive disabilities mean he isn't competent for execution. One of them was a request sent to Tennessee Governor Bill Lee for Black's clemency, asking the governor to commute his sentence to life in prison. What did he do? Intellectual disability. I've been on death row for 25 years. What? From infancy, he suffered from the effects of prenatal alcohol exposure resulting in fetal alcohol syndrome. As a toddler, he was exposed to toxic lead, compounding his lifelong cognitive and developmental impairments. I mean, he doesn't look it, but see, tricky that the official will have to look into, because you never know, because people will come up with any defense to get out of it, to get out of the sentencing. Tennessee officials must deactivate. Okay. No matter what you actually think of the death penalty, seems like you could just wait a couple of months. As a hospice nurse, this pains my soul. Sounds like a pure life of pure hell that he didn't ask for. Life, finds a way, I guess. The bigger deal should be that the state is going to execute someone with an intellectual disability, which is supposed to be unconstitutional. Father of Canadian girl who was found dead in New York, charged with second-degree murder. What? The father? The Montreal father of the 9-year-old girl who was found dead after, after being reported missing in northeastern New York was arrested Monday morning and charged with second-degree murder and concealment of human corpse. A news release from New York State Police says officers from the Warren County Sheriff's Office received a call from a man who said his 9-year-old daughter was missing from the area of exit 22 of I-87 in Lake George, possibly due to an abduction on Saturday just before 10 p.m. ET. Eastern Time. They say the child was identified as Melina Fratolin, I don't know, and her father as 45-year-old Luciano Fratolin, and both were later confirmed to be Quebec residents. Robert McConnell, Bureau of Criminal Investigation captain for the New York State Police, told reporters on Monday morning that the father and the daughter were on vacation in the United States and were due to return to Canada on Sunday. The child resided full-time with her mother, and Fratolin visited the child when he was in Canada. The parents had been estranged since 2019, according to police. According to McConnell, at about 5:30 p.m. Eastern Time on July 19th, video surveillance images showed Melina and her father in Saratoga Springs, New York. Around 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Melina spoke to her mother on the phone and told her they were going back to Canada. The child appeared to be in good health. Sometimes after that call and before Fratolin's call to the police, the man allegedly murdered his daughter and left her body in a remote area. Why, though? Said McConnell. Melina was found in the shallow portions of a pond on Sunday in Ticonderoga, New York, about 50 kilometers east of Lake George near the New York-Vermont border. This must be a Canadian newspaper. Yeah, they use kilometers. The release says the Warren County Sheriff's Office initially led the investigation, but as the case progressed, officers identified inconsistencies in the father's account of events and the timeline of Melina's disappearance. No indication of abduction occurred. Police said the investigation has been turned over to the New York State Police. They said there is no indication at this time that an abduction occurred and there is no threat to the public. On the website of a company called Gambella Coffee, the girl's father is described as someone who spends as much time as he can in Montreal, Canada, with his beautiful daughter Melina. Company is headquartered in downtown Montreal. Melina is the light of his life. She's inspiration for, well, everything. I wonder why he did it. Sometimes parents, like when divorce, I mean, I've heard things like this happening. Like when you read the news from like people talking to people, because there's a lot of tension between the parents, maybe, and they get jealous or they get possessive about the child or children. So they don't want the child to get too close to the other person. It's even happened in like, certain. I want to say how I have to be careful here, but certain situations where like surrogate mothers, right? There are, or maybe there are mothers who wanted kids, or like a couple who wanted kids and they took the sperm from a guy, and then they're parents and they have to discipline the kid as the kid is growing up, and the kid maybe goes and spends time with the surrogate mom or the donor dad, whatever, and they get close because they don't have to discipline him. They're not. I mean, they're his biological parent, but they're not really raising the kid. So they get to be the cool uncle, cool dad, whatever. And there's resentment a lot of times. I've heard of that. But why would you off the child? Belgian police questions 2 Israelis over war crime accusations. Okay, not touching that. U.S. hotels boost background checks as migrant scrutiny grows. Really? Soft pay what now? Kilo code is okay. Wait, Vatican sent Italian children born out of wedlock to America as orphans. New book uncovers program. Well, yeah. I don't know about the Vatican itself, but I was talking to a Italian guy. He's been here like his second or third generation, I guess. And he's talking about how his grandfather in Italy was just sent to America, and then he was also sent a bride. And I think the bride is Russian. I might be wrong about that. Maybe it's not Russian. Maybe the bride was Italian too, but she was like 16 years old. Because back in the day, I don't think it was even a law, the 18 age age of consent was a law, or maybe if it was, but like culturally it was not, because the Overton window moves, and culturally it was not really implemented, and nobody really cared. Because I've heard stories about like people telling me like, oh, my aunt like ran away with our neighbor, and the neighbor was like a married guy, and my aunt was like in high school or whatever. Like there's stories about it you hear in America, I'm saying, okay, and in other countries these things happen even now, I think. The church did this everywhere. Here in Ireland, it was especially bad. There were probably tens, if not thousands, hundreds of thousands of babies across the world who were victims of schemes like these, and may have grown up and died not knowing where and who they came from. That's if they weren't killing them and hiding their bodies in mass graves and septic tanks. That burial is usually reserved for the bastards of the clergy themselves. They'll know. They'll have you know. Oh, because they're supposed to be celibate. Oh. I'll never forget when my seventh grade history teacher told us the popes had children. He couldn't use the word bastard in class. Scales fell from my eyes. I was never as trusting after that. Thanks, Mr. Price, for helping me grow up. Don't forget the hundreds of children who died in Ireland unwed mother homes. What the hell is an unwed mother homes? Homes for unmarried mother homes, known as maternity homes, provide shelter and support to pregnant women who were not married. These homes were common in the 20th century, particularly from the 1940s to the 1970s, and aimed to offer a place for women to live while pregnant, often with the expectation that they could relinquish their babies for adoption. Okay. The laundry is, bro, this mask makes me like, ah. Yes, because forcing parents to abandon their children to a foreign country is right in line with the teachings of Christ. Jesus talked about forgiveness and accepting those in transgression just constantly. Why is the Catholic Church so obsessed with reversing the message of their God? I I don't want to say it because I'm not Christian, but from what I've read, I mean, he was definitely merciful and stuff, but also there's another side of it. There's another side of like, there's gotta be, right? I don't know. Because if you have rules and they're not implemented, what's the point of it? Or at least have them as a standard in your life, right? Okay, I'm not saying, obviously separation between state and church, but if it's not a standard in your life or anyone's life, and even if people fall short of it, if it's not set a standard in your life, then what's the point? It's just talking points, right? Religion is poison, and the devout are fools to evil men. I can see it's. I've talked about this before. It's. I don't think religion is poison. I think if the religion is not there, people would fight and do things with ethnicity, caste in India. They would do with nationalities, politics, and stuff like that. People would always find something like race to fight about. But religion is, or religious area communities are a very odd place where someone has like authority, or at least like someone's opinions matters to you, like the clergy of like any religion. I'm not specifying one religion. I say clergy because it's just an anglicized word, but in any religion, they have an effect on your life. They have influence over your life, and your loved ones and everyone in the community, and the people in the community actually cares about their opinion. So they have authority, and then there's also like immense trust. So it's an odd place because usually when you're rich or poor, rich or highly influential, you're a politician. There is like I don't want to say, maybe no. Some people might not trust them at all. Some people like at least less trust than the average person. So this is why like a lot of crimes happen, and then sometimes they bury them because they don't want to get the backlash. They don't want to get backlash for the community, right? They're trying to protect the community. Yes, it happened, but what it does is like it encourages people because they can get away with it, or other people have seen certain people get away with it, and then also like it's a motivation to get to that point in the religious community because they're like, oh, that's power, they can get away with it. I've seen this one get away with it, and it's because of his position in the community. That's nothing though. Pretending to be religious, and this is common very like in every religion, like every religious community I've seen. Pretending to be religious gives you benefits. Like you can be religious in you can pretend to be religious in a religious community and just say those talking points. You might not even believe it. You might not live it. Like I said, it's people always fall short of ideologies and things they believe in, right? But if they might not even have it as a standard in their own life. But what happens is because you pretend like that and you say it's like that, they will always support them, support that person in the community. They will always vote for him, quote unquote. They will always because I say quote unquote because in some countries there's no voting, and they will always like they will always give them the privilege in the community, like without doing a lot. Because a lot of times you have to like earn the trust of people. It takes long, right, to earn the trust of entire community and all these things. And every time, what do they say? It takes us. It takes a lifetime to create to earn trust and like a second to lose it, something like that. I've definitely butchered it, but anyway. So it is odd, and I'm not criticizing religion like completely like atheist people because I believe in God, but it's this is what I've seen in religious communities. Where it's bad. It's pretty bad because it's not really the religion that the issue. It's the people running it. There are a lot of churches. Yeah, I agree. There are a lot of churches or religious organizations that do the right thing and try to be Christ-like, but they don't get attention. True, I've a lot of every religion, not just the church. Every religion does a lot of good work too. But that's with everything. If you look at countries that have like high influence, like it's not very black and white that they're bad or good. They've done good and bad in the world. I agree. My church is very open, does same-sex marriages, and it's a Lutheran church. There are small ones or mega ones that look at us with, "But you aren't conservative. You're wrong." Meanwhile, they're caught in their fourth kind of a sex crime, affair, or embezzlement. It's people, and I think when people get, and also like if there's like a lot of money involved religion, and I'm not saying they should always be poor, but they should be getting money from like having a business or whatever. It shouldn't be like through the church, mosque, synagogue, temple, whatever, because I think that corrupts people. It corrupts people like in normal life. And I know these people are supposed to be like held to a higher standard, but I don't think it works like that. I think they're all human. They mess up. I think the whole point of like religion or things from religion is to just have it as a standard in your life, and then like and just try and meet the standard. That's it. You're not gonna meet it. Some days you might meet it, some days you might not meet it, sometimes you fall short, by a lot, sometimes by a little, but it's just it's just there. Parents, as though nobody knows what gender is doing what in this grim little slice of human activity. The impregnators had long since ditched that spirit. Jesus was born to an unwed woman. But it was wasn't it what's his face? What's his face? What is it called? Wasn't it divine? Divine. What is that term? Divine. Divine. Uh, divine conception, right? Divine conception. Divine native is incarnation. Divine conception. The church doesn't have skeletons in its closet, but secret access to an underground mass grave. I've heard in Ireland, like, I mean, they're still Catholic, but they've kind of lost connection with the church. You see that with like every religion at some point. Family of man killed in tent crushed by bulldozer, Sioux city of Atlanta. Migrants. The family of a man who was killed after city workers crushed his tent with bulldozer during a sweep of homeless encampment. Atlanta, Georgia filed the lawsuit against the city on Friday over his death, calling it tragic and preventable. It's see, people should be treated with respect, and whatever country they're in, whatever city they're in, should take care of their people. But you also have what I realize is like when you talk to homeless people, some there are people who does not who like there are people who do not want to get out of the streets. They don't want to live the normal life. They want to be like, no, I don't want to off grid because that's going out into the woods and stuff. But uh, they don't want to be part of the whatever system is in place. And some of them are yes on drugs and stuff for that, which is bad too. They should get clean, and then they shouldn't be just like everything else. Like they shouldn't be a burden on the on the system. But some of the people actually I don't want to say I don't know if I want to say a lot, but like some of the homeless people, they just don't want to be part of the system. They don't want to live that life of working 9 to 5 and just paying taxes. Um, and I can see how it's like monotonous and like it's not, because I don't think that system is for a lot of people, and the people for whom it's worked, and then also people who are wired a certain way or they have that outlook will criticize them. I get it, but also like you shouldn't be a burden to the system, because that affects the entire country or city or wherever you live. Notorious drug lord dubbed Fido extradited 2 years from Ecuador arrived in New York. Man violently assaulted and partially stripped by gang in Talak. God, oh, this is Ireland. People don't realize, like, people don't realize when it comes to like, because it's such a drastic, like it's a bad look. The optic is really bad when like somebody from outside the country, like a foreigner, an immigrant, or someone who looks different commits crime. But like in certain parts of America, dude, there's certain groups like the French Canadian, the Irish, the Portuguese, the Italian. The crimes are crazy, but like they have, you know what it is? It's they have the privilege or they have the benefit of the appearance. If they put on a suit and like kind of clean up a little bit, like shave the beard, whatever, like get a haircut, then people will not judge them. And I don't mean just like certain group of people, just everyone like of all race. They will not judge them because the optics, because there's so many successful people from those backgrounds, because they're the majority in this country. But I'm not surprised because a lot of the when people talk about they're bringing a certain lifestyle to like other countries, um, from like third world countries, yeah, but also they're bringing it from other certain other countries too in Europe. Pat Tillman's brother arrested for driving into California post office report. Isn't Pat Tillman the yeah, Pat Tillman is the one who served in the army, right? I don't know if he passed away. The guy with the yep, yeah. This is the picture. He was from Fremont. Oh, he passed away in Afghanistan. I didn't realize he passed away in Afghanistan. Tennessee woman denied prenatal care for being unmarried. Lowy Institute Southeast Asia aid map reveals retreat of U.S. and Europe from Australia's region. Crews work to contain petroleum spill in gene therapy maker Sarepta tells FDA it won't halt shipments despite patient death. Sarepta says it won't comply with the FDA request to stop shipping gene therapy Elevidis after patient's death. Let me see what it is. Washington drug maker Sarepta Therapeutics said late Friday it won't comply with the request from the Food and Drug Administration to halt all shipments of its gene therapy following the death of a third patient receiving one of its treatments for muscular dystrophy. The highly unusual move is the latest in a string of events that have hammered the company's stock for weeks and recently forced it to lay off 500 employees. The company's decision not to comply with the FDA also places future availability of its leading therapy called Alvidis in doubt. The FDA said in a statement Friday night that officials met with Sarepta and requested it suspend all sales, but the company refused to do so. The agency has the authority to pull drugs from the market, but the cumbersome regulatory process can take months or even years. Instead, the agency usually makes an informal request and companies almost always comply. We believe in access to drugs for unmet medical needs, but are not afraid to take immediate action when a seriously safety signal emerges. So what happened? Um, Elevidis is the first gene therapy approved in the U.S. for Duchenase, bro. That's a Duchenase? It's muscular dystrophy. Okay, I know I'm butchering that shit. I was right. Duchen, with the sound as in shoe. Muscular. Duchen muscular. Wait, what happens? The fatal muscle wasting disease that affects males, though it has faced scrutiny since its clearance in 2020, the one-time treatment received accelerated approval against the recommendations of some FDA scientists who doubted its effectiveness. The FDA granted full approval last year and expanded the therapy's use to patients 4 years and older. Well, it can happen that young, so you can be born with it, including those who can no longer walk. Previously, it was only available for younger patients who were still walking. The doctor said Friday that its scientific review showed no new or changed safety signals for younger patients with Duchenne's who have earlier stages of the disease. The company said it plans to keep the drug available for those patients. But who died? Who offed themselves? Oh, Cambridge, Massachusetts-based Sarepta has received FDA approval for 3 other Duchenne's disease drugs since 2016, none of which have been confirmed to work. The company has long been criticized for failing to complete several studies needed to secure full FDA approval of its drugs. Company shares fell more than 35% Friday to close at $14.07. I need more details on like who died. Gene therapy, but this again, such a gray area. You want science to advance. You want people's lives to get better. Better quality standard of living, better life quality, like live longer, but at the same time there should be guardrails in place, right? Pilot of Delta Air flight performs aggressive maneuver to avoid mid-air collision with B-52 bomber. What? Minot, North Dakota. A SkyWest flight operating on the Delta connection between Minneapolis and Minot, I'm gonna say Minot turned into a tense and quiet ride for passengers after pilots took evasive action to avoid a mid-air collision with a U.S. Air Force B-52 bomber. Let me see how it is. Minot, my note. Oh, it's my note? Really?
Imagine being able to build
Bro.
anything just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
We are looking at how to pronounce
Yo, what's
this
up?
name.
Hey, Amelia, how you doing?
We'll be looking at how to say more interesting and often
Des Moines,
confusing
I know
city
that.
names around the U.S., so make sure to stay tuned.
Bro, already say it.
So how do you say the name of the city in North Dakota? Minot.
Minot. Never heard of it. Okay, according to Aviation A to Z, how's it going? Good. How are you doing, Amelia? The close call happened Friday night aboard Delta flight DL3788, which was traveling from Minneapolis in St. Paul to Minot International Airport. It was flown by Travis pilot on July 18, 2025 and landed approximately 8 p.m. I'm doing good, Amelia. How are you? Good to know. Okay. Oh, is there a delay in the chat? I don't know. The Embraer E175 jet came dangerously close to a B-52. I usually do this early, but kind of late today because I woke up late. But I'm gonna try and do. I didn't do on Sunday. I'm gonna try and do Sundays now, and also night. I'm gonna try and stream at night as well. The Embraer E175 jet came dangerously close to a B-52 Stratofortress from Minot Air Force Base during this flight. The pilot's quick action prevented a possible collision, and passengers later thanked him. Am I dyslexic, bro? Really? Because I feel like I'm dyslexic. Passengers later thanked him for explaining what happened once the plane landed safely. Monica Green, who was seated in the oh no. I thought about Friends. Who was seated in the front of the plane, described the atmosphere on board as weirdly calm, even as the jet made sharp, unexpected turns. Honestly, everyone was weirdly calm. I felt like I was gaslighting myself, like maybe I was being crazy because no one else was reacting. Green said, "We took a really hard turn." And that's when the pilot got on the intercom and said, "Sorry, everybody, I'll explain everything when we land safely." The way he said it, it almost sounded like he was insinuating that landing safely might not be an option for a moment. We all just kind of looked at each other and stayed quiet. Yeah, I know when we, did he say if or when? When we land safely. Yeah, when we land safely. But it might seem like that to some people. It's choice of words are very important in this situation, but also like you're under stress. You just escape the collision, like a narrow escape with like all these passengers in your commercial flight. So are you really thinking about choice of words. The flight circled the Minot airport several times before landing. Green, who flies frequently for work, says she tracked the unusual flight pattern on an app while texting her husband. I texted my husband saying, "This is weird. We keep circling the airport, but we're not landing." I was a little anxious, and when he said, "No, this is serious," I started panicking internally. Why would he say that? Despite the tension, she praised the pilot for being transparent. He was very casual. If you can be casual about something like that, but you could tell he was stressed. He was almost shaking, trying to find the right words, but he was nice and detailed. It felt good that they weren't just going to brush it off. Okay, unfortunate. Ground squirrels are taking over a North Dakota city, and officials are amused. What's with North Dakota today? Civil groups clarify Gallatin event was HIV medical outreach, not gay sex party. Slam police's conduct during raid. What is this about? Oh, is this like Philippines? They all look Filipino to me. A coalition of civil society group has urged Kelantan, I think it said, Kelantan police to revise their statement on a June 2025 raid of an alleged gay sex party here, which they explained was in fact a health outreach event. Cotabato. Oh, it could be Indonesia too. Not say where it is. I'm not reading this. Too much read. Some further context that may be helpful. Minot is currently hosting the North Dakota State Fair, and on this evening there was a planned flyover with the B-52 as a concert was. It appears this information was not relayed from Air Force personnel to civilian air traffic control, and that this was a B-52 involved in the incident. Can I ask something? Yes, Emily. You can ask me. The airport the Delta flight was landing at is very small, at 4 total terminals, and it's not equipped with radar. That makes sense. Volunteers flocked to immigration courts to support migrants arrested in the hallways. I get it, good gesture, but what is it gonna do? What is it gonna do? I mean, it's a good gesture. You should probably do it, but you know, they have authority to arrest, so they're just gonna harass people. Epstein, I'm not saying I agree with it or disagree with it, but just saying, what does it accomplish? What does it do? I mean, I don't know. Maybe it puts pressure on the administration. Maybe, I guess. Ex-Epstein lawyer calls for release of additional Epstein materials. ICE chief says he will continue to allow agents to wear masks during arrest raids. NYC pawn shop owner pleads guilty to his role in burglary of NFL star Joe Burrow's home and others. What? Actually, I do some customized stuff for streamers, so can I do something cool for your channel and a good price? Like, would you like to check my work? Amelia, I've had people come and do this. What I'm doing right now, because I'm just starting out, I've only done it for like consistently for a week, not even 6 days. I'm just gonna keep going with what do I have right now, and then once like I scale to a certain, I get followers and stuff, and if I'm getting some traction, then I'll think about it. I don't think it's worth it at this point. I don't want to put more money into it. I just want like casually just hang out and do this and see what happens. If it's not going anywhere, that's fine too. I'll just keep streaming. I said this because I like streaming, but other than that, I don't think I'm gonna do it. Thank you. But if it ever happens and I remember and I think about you, I will reach out. Amelia Harlow. Are you related to Jack Harlow? A Manhattan pawn shop owner pleaded guilty Friday to serving as a fence for luxury items stolen from wealthy residences across the country, including a brazen burglary at the home of Cincinnati Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, what does he look like? I don't know let me see, what does his face look like? Bro. Okay. I feel like I know that name, but yeah, this brother. Yep. Dmitry Nezinski admitted to knowingly purchasing stolen watches, jewelry, and other high-end, I'm dyslexic, bro. High-end goods in order to resell them in his pawn shop. But he maintained that he did not know they had been taken from people's homes until after his arrest. I'm very sorry for my actions, the 44-year-old New Jersey resident said in Brooklyn federal court. Most of my businesses was completely legitimate and it was a good business. Bro, I feel like I'm kind of desensitized to a lot of this news. Like, yeah, and they should be arrested, and the due process needs to happen. But also, I'm not surprised. D-Day veteran TikTok star Papa Jake Larson dies at 102. Rest in peace, rest in peace. I secretly reported news after he lost green card. Yeah, I remember reading this. I think the guy's Cuban or Chilean or something. Two dead. Unfortunate. Two dead after light plane crashes. Not touch. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not being insensitive, but I'm not touching controversial stuff. Two dead after light plane crashes in Calvino near Toowoomba. Oh, brother, what is this? What are these names? Oh, AU is Australia. Oh, it's Angela and Nancy. Hey, how are you? I'm good, Angela. How are you? Congo and Rwanda backed rebels sign declaration of principles to end conflict in Eastern Congo. There's still a conflict. It's ever going, bro. I think it's a lot of places. Look at the Middle East. Look at some parts of Africa. 400 plus guinea pigs found in LA hoarding case. 33 rescued. Wow. Drunk US teen arrested at Heathrow after chaos on Virgin Atlantic flight from LA. I'm glad to hear you're good. I'm also well. Thanks for asking. Awesome. A group of school children from the US were arrested. School children at Heathrow. Oh, because I think in the UK you can drink at like 18, right? After going on a drunken rampage on a Virgin Atlantic flight from Los Angeles, 9 teenagers used fake IDs, oh, the teenagers, to buy alcohol before the flight, then drank it at 30,000 feet, sparking an emergency alert from pilots on board flight VS008 on July 14th. Shocked teachers and flight crews said the teens were screaming and running amok during the transatlantic journey. When were they actually running amok? When the plane landed at Heathrow, police boarded the aircraft and arrested the group. The teenagers, believed to be from wealthy American families, were taken into custody, where they had mugshots and fingerprints taken. Officers revoked their electronic travel authorization, meaning their summer plans, including attending camps across Europe, were cut short. A source told The Sun the posh kids couldn't handle their booze. Virgin Atlantic initially refused to fly them back after the mid-air chaos, but later relented, reporting taking revenge by sending the teens to separate cities across the US and telling their parents, some of whom are said to be sports stars, to collect them. What are their names? In UK, you can't put their names. So where are you from? I am from the East Coast. So wait, you can't, in the UK, you can't release their names? Oh, because they're teenagers. They're not, they're below, they're not adults. Okay. I'm from the UK. Are you? Are you really? Whereabouts? Virgin Atlantic Initiative. Okay, the source said the kids bought booze before the flight, then smuggled it on. The Metropolitan Police confirmed the arrest, and the teenagers were warned they could face jail terms. Jail terms, but then it was sent back, so I guess not really. 2 days ago, still dies while in office. What? Joe Casello. I mean, I'm not gonna pretend like I know this guy, but it should be news if like a lawmaker died in office. So what is weather in the East Coast right now? It's summertime, but we've had a shitty summer really on the East Coast, really, because we've had some rain every few days. Well, yesterday it rained really badly. A couple of days before that was good. It was sunny day. It was sunny. So we've had a few good days also, but we usually get rain during the summer, but not to this extent. By the way, can I ask you something about your channel? Yes, you can. I'm from Manchester. That's nice. It's up north. Florida Democratic lawmaker Joe Casello has died while in office following a heart attack. According to State House officials, he was 73. Casello, who was first elected to Florida House in 2018 from a district in Boynton Beach, was surrounded by his girlfriend and family when he died Friday. The Florida House Democratic Caucus said in a social media post. Your girlfriend at 73, bro? I don't know. Well, I mean, I understand he probably got, divorced and stuff, but actually I did some nice artwork for streamers. So I made something cool for a channel in reasonable price. Share you Discord username, then I show you MT recent work. So Angela, I get asked this a lot. I'm just starting out. I'm trying to get to a point where I have a good schedule. I'm streaming every day, maybe twice a day even. And I'm gonna stick with the setup I have right now and see what happens. If I can scale, if not, I'm just going to stream the way it is, just because I like to stream. But if I ever get to a point and I feel like I need to improve and step things up, and I remember and think about you, I will reach out to you. Okay, thank you. Casilla was a firefighter in Worcester, Massachusetts for 3 decades before entering politics in Florida. He served as Boynton Beach City Commissioner before becoming a state lawmaker. He had announced plans to run for a seat on the Palm Beach County Commission in 2026 under Florida law. Governor Ron DeSantis is required to call a special election or a special primary election when a vacancy occurs for a legislative state because of death. Yeah, rest in peace, bro. Okay, no problem. No problem. Have a good day, Angela. Texas official. This is 2 days ago. Okay, I'm done. I'm done with this. What's happening? Gadgets. Samsung will launch a triple folding phone this year. This seems like Samsung's thing. Just folding things. Just folding it. Samsung just yesterday launched its newest slate of foldable smartphones, but that might not be the only foldable phone the company releases this year. The company is reportedly preparing to launch a triple folding smartphone before the year's end. Well, Hogwarts Graphic World _ is my Insta. You can check and DM me. You know what I'm gonna do right now? I'm gonna oh god, hold on. Okay, I can't show these things. I can't show the phone. Okay. Well, Angela, you know what? Follow me, and then like I'll have you on my list. All right, all right, all right. Analogs 4K ready. Nintendo 64 remake ships this August. Cartridge gaming like it's 1996. Is that gonna work again? I don't know. Can it still be switched to for piracy in the US but not in Europe as confirmed by EU-LA? So European people can just do piracy and get away with it? Apple first foldable iPhone tipped for feature 5.8 display, 820 Pro chip, and 48 MP cameras. iPhone fold expected in 2026 at a near 2000 USD price. Bro, I like this because Apple, with everything going on, I mean, see, Samsung and a lot of these companies I feel like are ahead as far as like features and technology, because Apple, it kind of like makes small little, I mean, good to good. I like the Apple AI and all that stuff, but Apple can create good aesthetic products. So imagine if they mix that. So will they finally catch up tech wise, and then the aesthetics and the product is going to be great. It's going to be good. Larissa Mr. O3, what is that in? What is that? Discord? I'm excited for this. 2026 is like here, but 2000, if it might be worth it. But what is Samsung Fold go for? Why did I type a P? I'm so lazy. Bro. Top range new price. Bro, where is the AI? Fold 7, $2,000. Okay. All right. So they're doing the same thing. Okay, fair enough. Follow me and I will follow you back. Also, this is my new account. Old ones having issues keep showing capture again and again. Not sure why. So can we talk here? Sure. I'll do it. I'll do it when I get off stream. I need to make some clips. Galaxy Watch 8. My first days with Samsung's smartwatch have been promising. Is it better than Apple Watch though? They have Whoop too now. Whoop. Something happened with Whoop, right? What happened with Whoop and FDA? Whoop FDA. What happened with Whoop and FDA? Whoop's FDA warning letter sparks debate over blood pressure as a wellness metric. Isn't blood pressure a wellness metric anyway? Isn't it? I'm gonna get out of here in a little bit. It's 12:17. Whoop pushed back on the warning letter, claiming its blood pressure feature for a wearable wristband is for wellness and should not be regulated as a medical device. What? Claiming it's wait, was pushed back on the warning letter, claiming it's a feature for wellness and should not be a medical device. Oh, see, if it's considered a medical device, then you have to go through the F10K, at least F10K or F10K, F10K approval, and then make sure and then prove that it at least works as good as the gold standard. Which is, what is the gold standard? Gold standard for blood pressure monitoring. I think it's the cuffs. It's the occlusive cuffs. ambulatory blood pressure monitoring. Yeah, this involves wearing a monitor for 24 hours, taking automatic readings. That's the gold standard. So you have to prove that it worked as good as that, or you can do, and you have to like register it as, I think it's non-invasive. If it's non-invasive, since it's non-invasive, that would be like a class 2 device. Yeah, and you have to show that, and if not, you can do like a novel thing. But I think F10K is the easier way. Yeah. What is this, bro? Go away. What is the other one? You have to prove like a novel system. You have to do it from like, yeah, de novo, pre-market approval, pre-market notification. They offer several pathways. The pre-market approval, right? De novo classification, the pathway is suitable for novel. See, that's what it is. There's a few different things. Product development protocol. Yeah, there's a few different pathways you have to do, and some are harder. I think the de novo is like is harder to, or it's a lot more work. It has more stricter regulations, and also stipulation, and also like clinical trials need to be more expansive, I believe. A warning letter sent by the Food and Drug Administration to wearable company Whoop has sparked a debate on when wellness claims should be regulated as medical devices. Whoop, a company selling a wearable wristband to track metrics such as sleep, heart rate, and strain, received the warning letter on Monday for marketing a blood pressure insights feature without FDA authorization. The feature provides daily systolic and diastolic blood pressure estimates by measuring heart rate variability during sleep. Whoop's website states that the feature is intended to help users track blood pressure trends and have a deeper understanding of how blood pressure affects their wellness. The website also marketed the feature as an example of how Whoop is delivering medical grade health and performance insights according to the medical grade. The wording might have, like the verbiage might have messed it up. In a response posted Tuesday, one day after the letter was sent to the company, Whoop said it disagrees with the FDA's assertion that the blood pressure feature should be reviewed as a medical device before being available in the US, claiming it is a wellness feature, not a medical device. It's you have to jump to a lot of hoops. It's because even when you're coming through, like, all these like blood pressure monitoring devices you have, to get that approved, it's a lot of work as a medical device to put it in CVS instead of Walmart. But if you just do it as like a health and fitness thing, it's a little easier to get to the market, start selling it, and all that stuff. This interpretation is also inconsistent with the 21st Century Cures Act, which clarifies that functions intended to promote a healthy lifestyle unrelated to the diagnosis, cure, mitigation, prevention, or treatment of a disease or condition are excluded from the definition of a medical device. A Whoop spokesperson wrote in an emailed statement. I understand that Whoop is doing very, it's been, but that's the only way they can do it. They have to like move legally and talk about the guardrails in place, the legal guardrails in place, and absolutely that's how you do it. But also FDA can say that, hey, this is it could be, people can take this like, because if you haven't proved that it's accurate, then it can be dangerous, right? Because at the very least, it affects the quality of the living, because you think, oh shit, my blood pressure is high, my blood pressure is low, and it might not be accurate. So they will have to prove, because unless they've done that, unless I'm missing something, because I don't think if you're a medical device, you have to prove that the blood pressure monitoring is accurate, like it meets the gold standard. Do you have to prove product meets, bro, what am I doing? Product meets gold standard if your product is not medical, I can't type medical device, but marketed as health and fitness device. Let's see. Bro, this is crazy. What did I type? No, you generally don't have to prove your health and fitness product meets a gold standard if it's not a medical device. That's what I'm trying to say. So we don't know if if FDA doesn't know if it works properly. But Whoop is amazing, by the way. It's a great company. But I get both sides, what I'm trying to say. The FDA said that blood pressure measurements are inherently associated with the diagnosis of hypo and hypertension and are therefore intended for use to diagnose treat or prevent disease. The regulator also noted that providing blood pressure estimation is not a low risk function. Yeah, yeah. I think that's another thing. That's another thing. You have to prove. That's how you like classify class 1 medical device, class 2 medical device, and class 3 medical device. You have to classify the impact of it, and also what's it called, the effect on the user, the negative effect and also the positive effect. Makes sense though. I get it. 6 days ago, I'm not doing it. So Samsung announced the newest device. What does it have? Well, that's not enough time to complete a comprehensive review. And antioxidant test in my permission intake. The Galaxy, which has the same processor and sensors as the previous generation, but it's using those to detect a new metric, antioxidant levels. What? I've never heard of that. You have to take the watch off and hold your thumb on the sensor node for 5 seconds to get a reading, and you will need to refer to the health app in your phone for detailed results. Okay, that's fine. The first time I tested, I got a score of 60, which falls right in the middle of the low segment of the scale. The only other results are very low and adequate. Oh, which will surely be disappointment to the overachievers out there. Yeah, because you want like more than adequate. The health app suggested I try eating 100-gram persimmon. Oh, persimmon? Is persimmon like a fruit? Isn't that fruit? Yeah. It's a weird fruit. It's a fruit that looks like freaking. What? Is it full of antioxidants? I didn't know that either. The health app suggested okay. When my grandmother was alive, she made persimmon cookies every Christmas. And am I saying this shit right? Bro, me and these names is persimmon.
Persimmon.
Persimmon. Oh, persimmon. Yeah, I'm saying it. Persimmon. What did I say? Persimmon. Okay. Considering South Korea is one of the largest persimmon producers, it might make sense that a Samsung device suggests them. Oh, I see. Dude, everything. You can't trust anything these days. The produce guy at my local grocery store said they only carry them around the holidays, no doubt because grandmas insist, plus that's why they are in season. Turns out persimmons are high in antioxidants such as vitamin C and beta carotene. Cantaloupe also has those nutrients, plus it's orange like persimmons, so I bought one. In fact, I went hard on the antioxidants and did everything I could to see if I could get a better score. I ate a bunch of cherries and a lot of dark chocolate for breakfast. I had half a cantaloupe instead of the very tasty smelling breakfast hash my husband made, and I drank plain green tea instead of my usual oat matcha latte. Bro, where do you live? What is this life you're living? Oat matcha latte. I did yoga. You're one of those people. I did yoga and went to my monthly medical massage appointment. Plus, it's set to increase oxidant levels. I got 8 hours of sleep and drank my weight in water. I felt ready. I took the test again, and my antioxidant levels were 2 points lower. Sigh. I was expecting overnight transformation, but I had hoped for a little improvement next time I'm eating the hash. Oh, well, that should teach you. Okay, what's this? What's happening? 8 minutes. Star Wars Outlaw flopped because the brand itself was in choppy waters, Ubisoft CEO says. Vibe coding service Replit deleted production database. I use Replit too, and I like it, but it's never deleted my production database. But I saw the CEO guy tweet that they've kind of like separated in the production environment and the I forget what they separated, but just to make sure it never happens. They've already like taken care of it. UK backing down on Apple encryption backdoor after pressure from US. UK officials fear their insistence on backdoor endangers tech deals with US. Makes sense. A startup is selling that because I think that's also another big USP for Apple. Because I think there's been instances, very rare instances, where the cops have like approached Apple and they wanted data, and I think they've given them, but it's like specific high profile cases, I think. But usually when the cops or authorities approach Apple, Apple says no, we don't give out our users data, especially not to authorities. Startup is selling data hacked from people's computers to debt collectors. New 0-day bug in Microsoft SharePoint under widespread attack. Apple may have folded to the pressure of creating a foldable phone with Samsung tech instead of its own homegrown design. Why Apple is playing it slow with AI. Heat waves scorching Italy and Greece. Test grids. Box alerts. All right. Let me just play some Wordle, and I'm gonna do some mini something. That's it. All right. All right, usual strategy. Okay, as many vowels as possible. Bro. Okay, I want to get E. No, just one vowel? What is this? What is one vowel? What is this word? Hold on. Audio, Louis. What is I? Doesn't have. I'm just gonna do infer just to see the letters because I can't just sit here. Bro, I know there are no vowels, but no N, F, R. What is this word? It's gonna drive it crazy now. I'm gonna do. No, that's stupid. I know none of those letters exist. When I gotta get most consonants. G A J K G G H J K. I cannot think of any words. S A I N T. That's stupid, but I just check S and T, I guess. No, okay, T, okay. It's going to be something like that. That's not a word. I know that's not E, but T I T I tip pitch. If I try, it's not S though. I really thought it would be a titchy, tippy. Tizzy. I was so close. Tizzy. It was some goofy ass word like that I knew. Okay, let's do some mini crossword. What is this? What is happening? Ceremonial band. Oh, well, see, my word recollection is so bad. Who are the ones who do? First official state hand gesture following it to a Hawaiian bill. Oh, my deck with the major and minor arcana. Just love. Boardwalk has the highest one on a Monopoly board. Cool place to be on a sunny day. Beach. Name that might come first during an alphabetical roll call. Adam? Oh wait, A-D-A-M-A-A-R-O. No, like Aaron? But there's like two. Hybrid athletic garment. Hybrid athletic garment. Nike, Nike. What is it? Hybrid athletic garment? I don't know. Just loath. Is that one whose name is in lights? God? What? And then just love. Oh my God. What's going on with some TikTok? Oh, I forgot to go live on TikTok. Oh my God. Okay. Boardwalk has the highest one whose name is in lights. Because of his state. What is a Haka? Haka. Haka. Right? Haka. But Haka is Haka. Oh, it's probably S. Yeah. Deck with major and minor arcana was deck. Deck card T. What's that thing called? Like, bro, the hipster girls do it. They talk about yeah. Okay, this can be it. Wait, Bachi? It's a. Okay, what's the other one? Just love. Just loathe. Hate. Yeah. Oh, this is a. Okay, I'm not too sure about this. So, this. Just love. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm not too sure about this shit. Oh, this is okay. What is it? Boardwalk has the highest one on a Monopoly board. Boardwalk has the highest one. Oh, so it's like, is it? Okay, Monopoly. Okay, cool place to be on Sunday. ADE, cool place to be on Sunday. Oh. Okay, what's it? 3 down hybrid? One whose name is in lights. Lights. What is this? 5 down. Tar. Star? SHA. How about this? Wait, I gotta check all this. Check puzzle. Oh, so they're right. Okay. So this is what? Shara, Shaka, Shata, Shaga, Shaba, Shana, Shala, like Haka. Isn't it Haka? Haka. What is one across? Ceremonial. Sash? Isn't that sash? How did I do that? What's the hybrid skort? The hell is a skort? A skort is a pair of shorts with an overlapping fabric panel made to resemble a skirt covering the front. Oh, did not even know that. All right, I did like a minute. I'm out. Let's get out of here. Work.